how do you get the courage to approach and talk to random people? I think it comes down to 3 things, but I'm gonna give you guys a scenario first. Imagine you're in line for a concert and you really love the person who's playing, you're a big fan of their music, you have all of their CDs like I do, and the people around you are in a big group. There's people in front of you who are talking to their friends, and there's people behind you who are talking to their friends as well. What do? Well, you can talk to the group of people, maybe feel a little ostracized because you don't know any of them, but as long as you're able to insert yourself into one of the conversations, you can also insert yourself into the other conversation. And then your 2 small groups of people can become one big group of people, and then you guys can all go into the concert together and have a good time. Now that may seem really simple and dumbed down because I know, that first step of talking and actually going up to somebody and having a conversation with them is really difficult. But guys, this is a true story. I did this at the Lamp concert I went to recently. Find new opportunities when you are out and about, because when you do, you will see that there's a lot more to do and a lot more to learn in life. Like, I would not have had the opportunities that I've had if I didn't actually go out and talk to random people. The other day, I was at an event for this strawberry brand, Oishi Strawberries. If you haven't seen my video about it, go check it out. There, I met really cool people who were in the same field as me and studied similar things to me and just overall made new connections and have now people I can talk to and know in different areas of the world. How great would it be to have people around the world who know you, so whenever you want to go on vacation, whenever you want to go see somebody else, see something new, you have somebody who's in that part of the world to show you around. Like, it's a valuable asset to know and talk to strangers because, again, you can create so much opportunity for yourself when you actually talk to strangers. So today, we're gonna figure out how to approach random people, cold, without any skills, and how to be okay with failing. Because that's the first thing you need to understand. You are going to fail. You are going to fail so much that it's going to suck and you're gonna be discouraged and you're gonna be like, why did I even try in the first place? And I'm here to tell you, that's because you had too many expectations, not only of yourself, but of the people around you, right? Listen, guys, when I started out in high school and when I first started college, I was a pretty shy guy. I wasn't somebody who was the top of the class. I wasn't somebody who was well known for being, charismatic and an awesome person. I was just a guy that was there. I, had my hobbies, had the things that I did. But the thing that changed me, the thing that made me really turn a new leaf on how confident I was and how I did things was starting jiu-jitsu, starting a hobby that I knew was hard. And when I started jiu-jitsu, I believe that just honestly doing anything that's difficult and knowing that you're one of the only people in the world who's doing that difficult thing makes it so that you automatically gain a sense of confidence. And it makes you also realize that maybe things don't matter as much as you think they do. Right, so in jiu-jitsu, you're literally playing with people's lives. We're putting each other into submissions, into holds, into locks, where if I were to apply it, if I were to choke the person out, they would go to sleep and then they might not wake up if I held it for too long or whatever, right? This is just, again, my experience, but because I'm doing that every day, and that's literally happening to me every day, whenever I'm faced with a challenge, I'm like, it's not as crazy or as scary as the sport I do. Going up and talking to a random person doesn't have as many consequences as it does if my training partner were to hold a choke on me or break my arm or something like that, or not a training partner, a competition, right? So then what am I so worried about? Because I have already done the harder thing in life. That means that I can now see everything else as much easier, right? So just set your expectations really low. If you expect this to be one of the most difficult tasks, talking to a stranger in the world, then you're going to have that perspective and you're gonna feel that way. You need to realign the way that you think about things and make it so that when you do go out and approach people, you're expecting failure. You're expecting, hey, if this doesn't work out, it's whatever. I'll be okay. The person will be okay. The girl's not interested in me. That's fine. I'm not gonna chase her, harass her, or do anything like that. It's okay, right? Because there is so much opportunity lost when you don't do something rather than when you do something, because at least you tried. And when you try, you learn and you get better. So you got to put those reps in. You have to be somebody who is willing to accept that the conversation will sometimes die. This conversation will sometimes not be good. Sometimes it'll be a little bit awkward. Sometimes you won't know what to say. But listen, if you actually just try more and fail more, you will improve. Now, that's a little bit of my perspective, right? But we haven't really gotten into an actual system or an actual strategy in order to go up and talk to random people. So I think that the number one thing that helps me approach and talk to people is where I'm at in the environment around us. There's this thing in acting and improv where it's just like, rather than making a entire like thread of things you have to talk about, it's like, oh man, I wonder if this person's really into this hobby. I wonder if this person's like into the same thing that I am. It's like, no, just state the obvious, right? If you are at an event and you are talking to people who are at the event for the same reason as you, I went to a strawberry event, and the people there were into strawberries, into Japanese things. There were people who were from Japan there, right? So I could talk to those people about that thing that I'm passionate about. By doing that, you're setting yourself up to have an easier conversation with a random person. So at the event, we were able to try the strawberries, right? I tried one. I said, this one's good. The person next to me, hey, what did you think about this strawberry? I thought it was really good, better than this one. And then the conversation just starts there. Okay, great. Where are you from? Oh, what do you do? You know, you're automatically just in as soon as you state the obvious. Be somebody who can just enter a room and be like the person that people want to talk to. You want to have an energy about you that people will respect and people will understand that this is like the person that is the guy, the dude, the person who is deserving of their attention, who wants to be like liked and have conversation with. I'm not saying like you need to crave this or like need the attention or whatever, but be somebody who people respect. Be somebody who can, have a conversation with somebody else, who isn't rude, who isn't hiding in a corner and, you know that meme with the guy in the corner with the cup of whatever in the party? Like, don't be that guy. Be the guy in the crowd, talking to people, having interesting conversations, asking good questions. You need to be somebody who is able to do all this stuff because, guys, your life will improve the more amazing people you meet. You will move forward the more people you know who are already moving forward. I don't remember the saying exactly, but it's like you are the sum of the 6 or 5 best friends that you have or something like that, right? And I believe that's true. So you should surround yourself with really great people. And the way that you do that is by meeting more people, interacting with more people, talking and becoming friends with people who are ahead of you, people who are behind you, people who can teach you something. I'm not trying to make this a transactional type of agreement. I'm not trying to make it so that when you're going to an event, you have to do this so that you get this out of this person. No, it's not like that. It's more like you just need the confidence to be able to have conversations with people so that you both can mutually benefit from the experience that you're having, right? Because if it's one-sided, if you're just asking a person all these questions and you're not sharing anything about yourself, then you're like kind of just pulling information from the other person, and that's going to make them feel uncomfortable, right? So again, this is in the context of going to random places, going to places where there's events, going to company meetings, going to concerts, stuff like that. But let's just talk more about really simple areas, maybe areas you're in every single day of your life, right? If you're in a coffee shop, having a conversation with a stranger is kind of accepted there and it's kind of normal. So I'm gonna give you a scenario and I'm gonna ask, what would you do, right? So you're going up to get coffee and you're in line again. Instead of there being a whole group of people to insert yourself in, there's just one other person in line in front of you and they're picking something that looks interesting, right? The same situation happened to me the other day. They picked they picked a chai tea latte and I love chai and I'm like, oh my God, like I love that flavor. Like, why did you pick it? Well, is it your favorite? And they were like, yeah, actually, this is like the best thing that I think this coffee shop sells. You should definitely give it a try. Okay, I will. So I did, and the tea was good. And I didn't make a brand new friend, and I didn't create a huge opportunity for myself, and I didn't change my entire life. But guys, I either made somebody else's day better, and I made my own day better, because not only did I validate that person's choice for the coffee that they picked or whatever, but it also made my day better because I enjoyed the coffee that the person recommended. So don't be somebody who thinks that it's like so serious and it's the hardest thing ever. It's impossible to talk to strangers. It's like really low stakes and it's really not the crazy and the most difficult thing in the world. I was a person that was afraid to approach people, so I used dating apps. And although a lot of the dates that I had through dating apps ended up in relationships and I had a good time in them, I believe that meeting people in person is like one of the best ways to actually make a great connection with somebody and to actually like have a great story that you can tell people. Like, I met my current girlfriend on the train. That's like amazing. And when we tell people that story, everybody's like, oh my God, that's like so cute. That's like the best thing I ever heard. Nobody else does that anymore. And it's like, guys, doesn't that just prove to you how important of a skill this is? I'm happier because I have the ability to talk to people and to introduce myself and to have conversations with people. You can be happier at the same time. Be somebody who isn't afraid to have conversations. Be somebody who is open to the world, who is aware of their surroundings, who can observe and see things that are happening in front of them and can comment on them and can have opinions and isn't too brash or hard to converse with. Like, conversation and just being able to talk to somebody is such a slept on skill. Like, if you really think about it, guys, the ability for you to speak, the ability for you to write, and the ability for you to come up with good ideas, those are the only 3 things that you need to succeed in life. Like, people who have these 3 things, they find success so easily because they're able to move forward by meeting new people, by sharing their ideas, by being open and honest with their communication. So don't be afraid to be somebody who fails a little bit, but also improves at the end of the day. Like, we're all cringe, we're all awkward. Everybody has their own set of problems in life and everybody has their own issues. But if you're somebody who wants to improve, who wants to get better, who is willing to put in that 1% to feel uncomfortable for a little bit, then you're gonna be better. And trust me, it is so much greener on the other side. Like, my life has become so much better because of this, and so can yours. I'm gonna give you an example of me failing though. One of the most awkward conversations that I've ever had was when I was in Chelsea Market in New York. And there was this girl who had really pretty things in her hair. I don't know what they were, like beads or something like that, but she was really cute. And I walked up to her and I tried having a conversation with her. I said, hey, I think the things in your hair are really cute. And she said, oh, my dad is right over there. I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, oh, like really? Like, oh, then I was like stuck. You know what I mean? It was like, right? And man, the feeling of desperation and like, holy crap, like I don't know what to say here. Even though like I was used to conversing and talking to people and just like having conversation with people, like guys, like you're gonna fail sometimes, even if you're the best, you know, you think you're the best or whatever, you think you're confident enough to talk to people, like, you know, you get shut down sometimes. And guess what? That's now just a funny story. And I'm sure that girl completely forgot about me and that, you know, the conversation that I had with her, I learned a lot. And, you know, I didn't feel like I was harming her or like putting a bad, you know, energy out into the world. I was just open, just giving her a compliment, talking to her, seeing how her day was. And, you know, she didn't want to talk. So that's okay. Nothing like terrible came out of that, right? And that was a failure on my part. And the failure is okay because guess what? I learned something in the end, right? And that's me being vulnerable. That's me being honest to you. Approaching people is difficult. Learning new skills is difficult. And guys, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a little bit of effort. But seriously, if you want to improve, if you want to get better, you gotta go out there and try. Go to places where there's gonna be people who, you know, have similar interests to you. Don't be afraid. Don't have really high expectations and just state the obvious. Start the conversation. As soon as you start the conversation, I'm certain that if you're a well-adjusted human being, you'll be able to continue the conversation. And if things get to a lull, just ask about something else. Talk about something else. You are a multifaceted, amazing human being. You have the capability to do anything in life. Like, you have the capability to ask a new question. You have the capability to talk about some niche interest or niche hobby you have, and then the conversation keeps going from there. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So what? The world isn't going to be over because you failed one conversation like I did a year or two ago. Right? My name is Matt from The Alive Company. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching. Peace.